Anthony Hartwig here with a Hot Corner, YSN's Hot Corner, with a special guest today, Riley Frizell. Riley, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All the way from Willoughby, Ohio. And let's start with just your high school experience and what it was like going through your high school career over there at Willoughby South and the experience that you had there.
Yeah, high school for me was probably, well, three of the best years that honestly ever gotten to play. I could have went to like a private school or like Walsh Jesuit to play, but I always wanted to play for my school and represent my city. And being able to play with the girls that I grew up with since I was little was honestly the best thing, regardless of how well we did or not. But I made some of the best memories that I'll probably never forget.
What was it about your school and your community that made you want to represent them and made you want to wear those colors?
Well, there's always that big thing where it's like you're from Cleveland, you're not a softball state, like it's just a big thing, and we're not known for our softball programs up here by the lake. And I wanted to show not only the girls at my school, but the girls that look up to me, the little girls, that it doesn't matter where you come from, that you can be great at whatever you want to be great at as long as you work hard. So wearing Willoughby South on my chest was just made it a lot easier to prove to everybody that it doesn't matter, like you're not from Georgia, but you can still be good at the sport of softball.
I think you're starting to prove that Ohio might be a softball state.
Yeah.
With the Taryn Alvello pitching in the World Series
Yep.
a couple years ago. Now you're coming on. You're going to Missouri. What was it about Missouri that made you want to commit to that school? I know you were highly recruited. You
Yeah.
picked Missouri over a lot of other big time programs. What was it about Missouri that made you want to kind of go there?
Well, everyone always says that when you go on your visits, like you can feel it, like you know when you're on your campus. So I did. I went to Oregon, went to Alabama, I went to all these places around the country, and they were all beautiful. Don't get me wrong, beautiful campuses. Like it'd be a dream to live there, but it never like really clicked. Like I could go to school here, but the minute I stepped on Missouri's campus, I was like, yeah, there's me walking to my sociology class. Like there I am going to practice, and it was like an instant connection that I really don't know how to explain in words. It really is. You just feel it. It was just a feeling that I was home and that God forbid that I break my leg or something and I'm out for a year and a half, I could still go to school there and love everything about it. So
Now going into your senior year of high school with all this COVID-19 stuff and your senior year of high school ball getting cut out, what was your reaction to that when it happened?
I was completely and utterly heartbroken. It it blew my mind because since I was a freshman, I've been waiting for my senior night. I've sat and listened to my upperclassmen give their senior goodbyes, their speeches. Like I had mine all planned out. I was gonna make everybody cry. Like I was gonna sob, and it just not being able to finish something I started. It was what really broke my heart because we have a lot of talent at South, and no one really sees it, but we were finally starting to show people like we are a good softball school. We have a good program, and we have girls that work their butts off. And this was our year to really, it was my last little hurrah, like to show everyone that like we worked our butts off and we have become a top program, and we never got the chance to finish it. And that's what really hurt me and like made me upset about it, because we didn't get to go for a state or a regional title or anything. We just, it got taken away from us.
Talk about your high school teammates. You could have gone to a big high school, like you said, played with a lot of girls that are going D1 as well. With your scene, I don't know how many seniors on your team are also going to go play at the next level, but if there weren't any that weren't, high school was their last hurrah. What kind of things did you say to them to kind of console them, knowing that their softball career is over when COVID-19 hit?
Yeah, one of our seniors, her name was Marley Unger. We started out playing ball together when we were playing t-ball. So we've known each other for a very long time. And she called me and she's like, our season's over. I'm like, I know. And we talked about that. And she was really, really upset because she's not playing in college. Um, and I just told her, I'm like, Mara, like, I get it. And I know that it's hard and that it hurts, but you got to remember the good times, all the fun memories. And I know you feel like it sucks. I can't, like, I don't know what else to say. It sucks, but you had three of the best years here. I have so many memories with you. I was like, and I'm happy that if this happened, I was by your side. Like, you weren't alone. So it was just hard to talk to any of them because when they aren't going to play at another school or in college, and I am, it was hard for me to say I understand what you're going through because in a way I don't, because I'm going to play again where they might not ever play softball again. So it was hard for me to talk to them, but I ultimately just was by their side and told them that if they needed anything, I was here for them.
When did you commit to Missouri?
The summer going into my freshman year.
So, obviously that's done now. Schools can't do that anymore. But what was it like going through high school, knowing that you were already going to go play in the SEC and all that? Was there ever any pressure from not just your teammates, but maybe just going through and trying to hold up to that standard?
I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself, thinking that I had to prove myself to people. And surprisingly, my teammates and all my coaches, they weren't really expecting anything out of me. They just wanted me to play ball. So that was really nice. But there were people that were like always watching me, waiting for me to fail. Like, I mean, that happens with everything. So being so young and that being the case, I did have to grow up really quick and I had to realize like, okay, you work hard, like what you have, you earned, like you worked hard. You can't listen to what everybody says. So I mean, after I got that through my thick skull, I honestly just focused on having fun because if I focused on everything else, I'd probably have a mental breakdown.
How was it going through your high school career, and how much do you think the scheduling that your high school team had, the teams they faced, kind of prepared you for that next level?
I will say that when I was a freshman coming in, I didn't know what to expect. I watched high school softball, but it wasn't my number one thing. So I didn't know what to expect when it came to playing other schools. So my upperclassmen were like, oh yeah, Chardon's the one to beat or Madison's the one to beat. And I was just kind of like, oh, I don't, okay. But I was actually really, really surprised my freshman year. We faced teams that I was just not expecting to face the caliber of pitching and the skills and the batters. And I was like, it took me by shock. And when we got to the regional tournament and we faced Maslin Perry, that was a whole different level. Those girls are all going D1. They're playing college ball. Like that was a big shock to me too. I didn't expect to see that. And it surprisingly really did prepare me for college because it made me realize that I can't take any team, any level, like, and think they're not at my level because that's not the case. Because I got beat up by some teams that I never thought I'd ever face, let alone get beat up by. And I was like, hats off to you guys. But yeah, it surprisingly really matured me in the art of like respecting my opponents.
You've known you're going to Missouri for a while, but what was it like to finally get to sign that national letter of intent and finally get the letter saying that you've been admitted to Missouri and now it's real?
That's exactly it. I talk about it since I was little. Oh, I'm committed to college. I'm going to Missouri. And they're like, oh, yeah, Riley, you are cool, cool. But then, like, I had the paperwork and I read it and I signed my name on it. And I was like, wow, I just sold my soul to the school. Like, this is my, like, job. And I went home that night and I just kind of sat there with my parents and I'm like, I'm like a college freshman. And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay. That's when it really sat in. I was like, well, what did I just get myself into? Like, I got 4 years at this school and it was crazy. It was finally happening.
I'm sure you've been paying close attention to Missouri. They had a really good year this year. They looked like an amazing team that was going to go really far before everything got shut down.
Yes.
How excited are you to kind of step into that platform?
I'm honestly, I can't even explain it. I'm ecstatic. We got so lucky having Coach Anderson on our staff and Coach Malvo and Sarah. Like, we truly were blessed. When Coach E got fired, I was terrified. I didn't know what to expect. I was young. I was scared. I didn't know who was going to come in. So honestly, I think I got the best possible coaching staff ever. They are amazing. Coach Anderson has completely transformed that program. And the girls, it's a family atmosphere. And I honestly, like, I'm going to say this now, put this on record, we will be at the College World Series within my 4 years. Like, it will happen. And it's honestly all because of Coach. And can't I can't wait to be there. I can't wait to experience it and be coached by that caliber of coaches. It's a dream come true.
Have you ever been to the World Series as a fan to kind of
No,
go in that atmosphere?
sadly, I'm always playing
Me
or
neither.
like it's my dream. Like I've always wanted to go and just be there so I can experience it, but I've never gotten the chance. I'm always traveling for softball.
You're gonna have a great first experience when you go
Oh
to
yeah, it's
play.
gonna be a
So,
childhood dream come true.
um, what's it like this summer? Because there's so much emphasis on this summer ball because you didn't have a high school season to kind of get live at bats, and it's different. You don't have as many tournaments as you would because of all this pandemic stuff. So how much importance are you putting on every weekend that you do get to go out and play?
Yeah, I honestly didn't expect to play at all this summer. I was supposed to be on campus like last week, but there's no freshman housing, so we can't stay on campus. So then when I found that out, I was like, what am I gonna do? I can't sit on my butt for 3 months and not play. Like I need to play. So thankfully I picked up with the Outlaws just to keep my engines rolling. And like you said, I don't have a lot of live at bats, so I really am taking every at bat that I can get, and I'm making the most of it. Seeing pitches, working on timing, working on mechanics, and when I'm not playing, I forced my dad to learn how to pitch and like do full windmills so that I can at least get the circle. Like it, it sucks not having high school ball and not having the real travel ball that we all know. And I'm only thankful that everyone's in the same boat, where it's not just like my state, but it's the whole country not having the ability to get live at bat. So at least we're all in the same boat coming in freshman year, but it's going to be tough.
Talk about being on the Outlaws because that's what kind of brought you to YSN's attention because you're on the team with a couple of
Yeah.
girls that we cover at YSN with Bree Kohler and
Yes.
Sophie Howe from Champion. What drew you to the Outlaws and what do you like so much about being on that team?
Well, honestly, I've played with Sophie since I was 10. We played in the Lasers together. We've known each other for years. Also, Riley Zana, I've known her for years because she was a bandit with me. And when this all happened, I had my like heart set on having more of a laid back, fun summer in a way where I'm gonna play, but it was more about, okay, mom and dad, I've spent a lot of your money over the past years. Like, let's just try and get you to play good competition, but not break the bank. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So we called and we found that Outlaws team, and I was like, yeah, I would love to play with Rye again. I would love to play with Sophie again. And honestly, that level of competition is perfectly fine. Everything with it is cool. The girls are so nice. They were so welcoming. The coaching they're hilarious. I can't even. Tim is hilarious, but yeah, I'm enjoying every minute of it, and it's cool because I play in Ohio, so now my family can like come see me instead of flying across the country to come watch me play.
Well,
So
yeah, it's a perfect segue because you're going to be in the PGF,
yep,
All-Star game in August on ESPNU, by the way.
yes, yes,
What's that like to be called the PGF All-American and you're going to share the field? I mean, you look at the roster on the East squad;
yeah.
it's full of SEC caliber players. So,
It
what's it like to be on the field with those people?
Playing PGF since I was little, you always watched it. Like I was there when I was 12, and you watch the All American game, and all you say is, "I want to be them. Like they're the best of the best." And when I got the phone call saying that I was a PGF All American, I screamed. I'm not gonna lie, I screamed. I jumped, and it it's just one of those dreams, those bucket list things that I'm able to do, and I am so grateful that they even considered me. And being able to play with the caliber of girls that I'm playing with, like it's a little intimidating knowing like where they're going, but then I gotta think like I'm
You're
one of
going
those
there too.
girls.
Yeah.
Like I'm one of them. So it's great. And my roommate Jenna, she's also on my side of the East. Like she's on my team. So me and Jenna get to play with each other. And it it's amazing. I honestly can't wait. I don't even care if I go like 0 for 6 or something, but being able to be on that field and say I am a PGF All American, I did that, like I'll never lose like I'll be so proud of that until the day I die.
That's going to get your feet wet to the kind of stage you're going to be playing on at Missouri, nationally televised kind of games, things like that. Are you treasuring the times you get to play in these small fields and these kind of community fields in Ohio? Because starting with that PTF championship, well, the PTF All Star game, you're on the big stage now. There's no
Yeah.
more going back to community fields. You're playing in front
Right.
of sellout crowds in stadiums.
It it's definitely fun to play on those small fields. It makes me feel young. I know that's weird to say because I'm only 18, but it keeps me like grounded. It makes my head not spin. Like I feel at home. I feel safe in a way where when I start playing in those big crowds, I'm gonna be like this fish in a brand new pond that has never experienced it before, and it's gonna be a big transition for me to be able to like just relax. But I'm definitely treasuring seeing my mom and dad in the outfield, and when I'm in the batter's box, I can pick them out of the crowd. So yeah, seeing that, I'm never gonna forget those times of playing on those little fields ever.
When you were looking at Missouri, who were some of the players that really caught your eye that you looked up to that played for Missouri back in the day that maybe tipped the scales to Missouri?
Well, the first one I can think of is Mikayla Manor. She's my hitting coach. She played at Mizzou. She was one of their all-time hitters. She's a great hitter. She was the whole reason I even like got interest in Missouri. She was talking about how good of a school it is, and I was like, I didn't even know Missouri had a college. Like I didn't know Missouri was a thing. I'm gonna be straight up. And then she was just talking to me about it, and I was like, that's beautiful. Like I'm into that, you know? And then I started looking, and then I started looking back, and that's how it all started. So she was the first one that ever got me interested in it. And then as I did like research, Riley Pierce, who played at Mizzou, she was their first baseman. She went to Arizona after Coach E left, and Amanda Sanchez, like just their top hitters and just seeing how they played and how they walked around with like this swag. It was just a new thing that I never really experienced, and I wanted to be part of it. They walked around like they knew who they were. Like I am this person, and I play here, and you're all gonna know about it. And that was just the type of like confidence that I wanted to be able to walk around with. So that's kind of what sold me.
Speaking of swag, what was it like to kind of put on that Missouri uniform? I've seen the pictures, and kind of almost have a photo shoot before you get there, and kind of have that feeling of being able to rep those colors.
That's something as a recruit you look forward to like forever because your official visit, you get treated like a princess. And being able to put on the uniforms, like you watch college softball on TV and you see like those uniforms fit them, like fit their bodies perfectly. And I just thought it was because of whatever reason. But when I put that uniform on, like it fit like a glove. So that was honestly the first thing that stood out. Was like these pants fit me right, this shirt fits me right. It was comfortable, it was beautiful. And then I look in the mirror and I'm like, that's my school. And it just brought a sense of pride that I finally get to wear the jersey and like rep my school as like I am a Missouri Tiger. Like that's it. Point period.
I want to give you time to kind of give a shout out to the people that have supported you throughout your career and the people that you probably wouldn't be here on this journey without their support and their time.
Yeah, if I were to say thank you and to anybody, it'd be my parents first and foremost. They have sacrificed more than enough to get me to where I was. I would have never left the Willoughby Stars if my dad wasn't pushing me to go play for Explosive. Like that was my first steps. My mom missing work, my mom taking off work and getting vacation days to go on the traveling with me, traveling the country to see colleges. Without those two, I really would never be here. But other than those two, Max Stevens, he's my trainer. He's been part of my family's training since my older brother was playing football. And he is like family to me. He's always had my back. He's pushed me to my limits a couple of times, but he has done nothing but support me, nothing but help me. And then Mikayla Manor, same person, my hitting coach. Without them, I would not be where I am today. It's simple as that. Like my family, those two, and there's so many more that I can't even think of. But like I've had an endless support circle that truly has helped me get through everything, and I just always have my back. And it's just so easy to work so hard when you have good people behind you.
And you brought up the things your parents had to kind of do and to kind of put into words the sacrifices that not just you but your family had to make to kind of get you to this level. And because I don't think people kind of have a respect for what it takes to get to Power 5 kind of softball elite level.
I tell everyone that I didn't have the normal childhood. I didn't. I spent a lot of my free time in a car or a plane, and I wasn't the one that was laying on the couch all day or eating chips with my mom watching TV. It was, okay, I have free time, I'm going to go hit, or I have free time, I'm going to go work out. Like my family, we were gone a lot. Like I have 3 siblings. I have 2 older and a younger. And when my 2 older ones were in high school and beginning of college, we weren't home a lot. So they were home alone a lot. And I didn't realize it until I was older because I was so young and kind of naive at the point. But I now understand like they weren't around us, if that makes sense. Like, we loved them obviously, but they had school, they had football, they couldn't travel across the country with us. They had to stay home. So now knowing what my siblings went through, and even my parents, like having to leave their kids, and leave work, not seeing their sisters and their brothers or their parents because they're traveling with me, now that I'm older, I truly understand how much they gave for me, and it makes me like understand and respect and give them like my gratitude, because while they were doing that, I was working my butt off. So since they did that, I told them that I was going to work hard. It was kind of like a balance act. So it's a big, big sacrifice to get to where I got, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, though.
There had to be times where that got kind of taxing or frustrating, and those valleys, as if you would say. What was your mentality to kind of keep grinding and keep going?
There was definitely a point where I was like, why am I doing this? Like, it was like year 7, and I was just like, I just want to take a nap and be a normal kid. And honestly, like, my parents just had to talk me off the ledge, basically. They're like, Riley, you've worked your whole life for this. You're a special type of kid. Don't give up. Like, so that support helped. But ultimately, I went to Todd Field, which is a local field complex by my house, and that's where I had my first ever softball game, way back when I played rec ball. And just walked down there, and I kind of just looked, and I was like, I'm doing this for the little girl that played rec ball in this field. I'm fulfilling the dream that she had. So keeping that in mind and keeping the little girl that was like in my heart alive, that's what kept me pushing, because I was going to do what I had to do to make my dream a reality. That's all my life was.
Once you step on that stage in Missouri, there's going to be a lot of little girls that kind of go to those Missouri games, and all of a sudden you become kind of a role model. Has
Yeah.
that kind of sunk into you yet?
Yeah, thankfully, so me and my dad have a facility. It's called Long Ball Sports, and we give hitting and pitching instruction to little kids. So I've had a really big taste of what it's like to be that role model to little girls, because my students all look up to me. Some of the hitting girls that my dad works with look up to him and me. So that's honestly another reason why I kept going, was because I started to see that I can be this role model for little girls. I can be the girl that says, like, you can do whatever you want to do, even if people say you can't. So knowing that I'm going to have the ability to be a role model on an even bigger stage, that's honestly what I'm looking forward to most, is because I love working with children. I love everything about little girls, and I can't wait to like be that person where like, I want to be like Riley Frizell when I grow up. That's what I can't wait for.
Of course, you're going to be a student athlete, so it'd be remiss to see what major you're going to go into and what kind of career you kind of want to see out of your education at Missouri.
Yeah, I want to major in kinesiology. It's kind of just like the study of the body and the way it works. My ultimate goal is to own my own gym. So basically a bigger version of what me and my dad have already. And I want to build it at home, because we don't have a lot of softball facilities that are crazy high level. And when we do, they're out in North Ridgeville, or they're just not close. And I want to be somewhere that these little girls can go to and get high level training for a low price, so that they can reach their dreams. I want to just train little kids. But then I also plan on minoring in communications, because I would also love to be in sports analyst, and I want to sit at the table on ESPN with a bunch of the dudes and just talk sports. I want to be that girl that knows sports and can have an in-depth conversation about it and just rep like female athletes. And that's my ultimate goal, is to do that and then just train and spend my quality time with little kids.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you go to an hour and a half east of where you're at, you'll always have a seat at YSN if you want to break down high
Perfect.
school softball, because
Perfect.
I could use a softball partner. Uh, Before we let you go, because quarantine has kept us in the house for the last 3 or 4 months, it feels
Yeah.
like forever. What has been kind of your favorite at-home quarantine activity while you've been kind of stuck inside?
We got a puppy. His name is Gus. We got a little French bulldog. So before Gus, it was waking up, showering, working out, and then going back to bed because I had nothing else to do. But then we got Gus, so now it's wake up, shower, workout, play with the puppy. So other than that, I'm practicing, hitting, working out, and playing with this crazy, psychotic 15-week-old puppy.
What kind of Has Missouri kind of sent you kind of things that they want you to keep
Yeah.
doing during these quarantines?
Yeah, so since I was supposed to be on campus, all the freshmen were going to have workouts, obviously. And since we're kind of stuck in our houses, they sent us like a modified at-home version of the workouts we would have done, just so that when we get to Missouri in August, we don't completely and utterly die from the conditioning and the workouts that we will have to do. So they're doing their best to make sure we're in decent shape for them to torture us.
The other thing I'm kind of interested in is that, usually you would get this summer to kind of, gel with your teammates, kind of inclement yourself into the program. You're kind of hitting the ground running in the fall. What kind of things have they been doing virtually to kind of inclement yourself with the team and try to keep communications going throughout the summer?
We have weekly Zoom meetings. So we're reading a book about the mental side of softball and all sports pretty much. So we kind of have a little book club, if you want to call it like that. And we read some chapters, then we have a Zoom meeting for like 2 hours. And as much as we talk about the book, a lot of it is just getting to know us. So they'll put the freshmen in different groups with girls that have been on the team for 4 years. And they encourage the freshmen to talk because we can't just be silent. That's our teammates, right? So those are what we're doing. And the upperclassmen are really good. I would say that we are blessed with really, really outgoing and inviting upperclassmen. They're not the type to make us feel left out, or they call us fish. That's what we're called. So they're not, ew, the fish are here. Like, they're not like that. They're very open to us, and they're really cool. All the girls are so cool, so fun. So it's still going to be difficult, but it's not going to be as hard as I think I'm expecting. I'm actually really excited just to be on campus with them because they're just a fun group of girls.
Missouri is not a quick drive west. What are you going to miss most about your kind of home community?
Just the aspect of my family. My family is all within like a 6 mile radius of each other. Like, I think the farthest one of my relatives lives in like Chardon. So it's like not really that far of a drive. And we're really close, my family. So the hardest part is for me to go to school, go to workouts, and then go back to my dorm and my mom not be sitting on the couch watching her television show, or my dad not busting my chops when I come in all sweaty from a workout. Like, that's going to be what I miss the most. And that's going to be the hardest adjustment, is realizing they're still there, but they're not physically like next to me. That's what's going to be hard.
Besides Missouri and, of course, the World Series, what do you think is the softball field, stadium that you're most excited to kind of play at and say that you're stepping on that turf, because you've been watching it for so long?
Definitely Alabama or Oregon. When I was little, like I told you, I didn't even know Missouri was a school. My dream school was Alabama, just like every other little girl. So being able to step on Alabama's campus and then like walk on their field, like my little girl heart's gonna explode because like I'm there, even though I won't be in their jersey
Right.
because just do till I die. But still, like, I'm on that field. That's gonna be crazy. And then Oregon is just gorgeous. Everything about Oregon is absolutely breathtaking. So every time I get to go there, I'm gonna take it in and I'm gonna love every minute of it.
Well, I've been to the Rhodes House. I will say that the money that school puts into their softball program is
Intense.
very impressive, and Coach Murphy's also obviously a big component of that. I haven't been to
Yes.
Oregon. It's on my
Oh, it's
bucket list.
beautiful.
It's on my bucket
Breathtaking.
list. Along with the World Series, that's on my bucket list. So maybe I'll have to have a trip down there when you get there to
When
to
I'm
rock
there, you should
the
rep.
Missouri.
Yes.
Go Mizzou.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much for joining us today. It was great to catch up with you. Of course, like I said, seat at YSN always open. If you ever come back home, and we're definitely going to keep an eye on you as you continue your career at Missouri.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.